I stayed in that situation, just also holding on to like shame, like what are people going to think? What are people going to say? But then I also realized like if I stay here, I'm not honoring myself, and I'm also not teaching my daughter what kind of person that, you know, she should aspire to be with when she is, you know, of age. So
what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Just Be Real podcast. I'm your host, Marissa Tong. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode this week. I'm really happy to be sitting down with a special guest. I'm sitting down with OG. Well, I'm saying OG because like I've known her for some time now, but Lala, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you doing, girl?
Good. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm surviving.
Gratitude. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate you so much. I'm really excited to dive into this conversation today, talking about like entrepreneurship, pivoting, and just all the lessons that like you've learned during your journey of entrepreneurship and owning a business, and also like being multi-passionate because you're into so many things.
Definitely.
Yeah. So can you tell people just a little bit about yourself?
Yes. First, I want to say gratitude. And like you have seen, because I am OG now. Okay.
Yes.
These Hills classes, I'm an OG now. I'm just saying, I'm a little rusty. I ain't been here in a minute, but I'm going to be back. But like you have seen my journey from, I can't even remember what year, maybe like 2018, 2017, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe even further.
I want to say,
actually.
maybe like 2017.
Yeah, maybe 2016, 2017, something around that area. So you have kind of seen like my growth and evolution. So this is kind of like a full circle moment, like sitting here with you. I started going to you as a Zumba instructor in Hackensack, and that was me like kind of getting back into just like movement in general to, you know.
I forgot about that. And retro?
Yep.
Girl, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I was thinking like you were just here, like you started with heels, but that's crazy.
Yep. I was going to Zumba retro, and then I found out you were teaching Hills classes. And once I started the Hills classes, it was over. I never went back to Zumba.
So a little bit about you, like you dance. That's how we met, and then you kind of transition into like holistic health and wellness. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So in 2020, first, I've always loved dancing. I love dancing. I just love movement as a whole. But in 2020, if you a guy, keep on scrolling. If you a woman, hey girl. In 2020, at the height of the pandemic, I had lost my job and I had no health insurance. I had got a yeast infection and BV, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, how am I going to fix this?
Yeah.
And I knew about herbs as far as like using them topically, because at the time I had a soap business where I was hand making soaps using natural herbs and oils. And so at that time I started looking into how to use herbs to heal yourself internally. And so I found some herbs, and I found that you should fast. And fasting helps the body to like heal and regenerate itself. So I went on a 2-week fast where I only ate raw fruits and vegetables, and I drank herbs. And in that 2 weeks, I was able to heal myself from BV and yeast infection, and have never had it since then.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was kind of like my segue into health and wellness. And from there on, I was a vegan for 2 years, but girl, them Thanksgivings, I'm like, I'm not going to keep going to Auntie's house and not having no big macaroni. Okay. So, you know, I kind of just started like having more grace with myself. Like, okay, yes, I love plants and I love to put living things into my body, but I also don't have to be like so rigid and like strict, you know? And then the more I started traveling, I'm like, Mexico, oh, I'm eating birrias. I'm not going to go to Mexico and not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to Colombia and not having arepa. So, you know, I just started to like give myself more grace and really just like understand why I want to do this. Like, why am I doing this for me versus like, oh, what are other people going to think? Because like I was a vegan and now I'm eating meat, or, you know, just figuring out why I wanted to do that for myself. So I still very much love fruits and vegetables. You know, I love like cooking them in a way that's very fun, and you know what we have been raised to eat. We were raised eating meat. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are like, why are vegans always trying to make a mushroom, call it a chicken sandwich? Just call it fried mushroom. Well, that's what we were raised eating. Yes. So we're kind of trying to like mimic, you know, not to say we're, because I'm not a vegan, but, you know, just people who love plants in general. You know, that would be a reason why they would want to make something that mimics what people who eat meat eat. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So then, okay, so let's move further into the journey. So then you started getting into pole, right? I don't know if this was like my timeline of like life is
It
just
was
so
actually
crazy.
no, same here. I feel you on that. But it was actually around the same time. Well, it was kind of around the same time.
Mhm.
Okay, so actually pole came first. So pole came first. I had left a previous relationship because I was married previously. And one thing I realized about myself in that marriage is that I was like very emotionally codependent on this person to the point where it was like almost debilitating, like really bad. Like if I was not with this person, I didn't want to go anywhere, like I didn't really have a social life outside of them. And not to say that's a bad thing, but like to the point where it was just really bad, like even if I thought of something I would want to go do with friends. I didn't have any friends that I could, go and do it with. And, I was very much like attached to this person, but like in a very negative way, in a way that also impacted me negatively, emotionally, physically. And so once I left that relationship, I was like, you know what? I'm going to set the intention that I'm going to start doing things for me and by myself and just like getting comfortable with even being by myself. I started like taking myself on dates and just being comfortable in that like silence and stillness. Like nobody else needs to be here. Just love on you. So when I went to my first pole class, I just fell in love with myself. Just like the movement of my body and like the shapes that I was making. It was very beautiful.
I love that. And you were like my first pole class in like such a long time. Like I remember taking pole once when I was like 18, I think.
Yeah.
And it was so freaking hard. My thighs were burning. Like I was so sore for like mad days. And then I took your class again in like 2020, 2021, I think around then. And I just love like your energy. I always love your energy, but just like being a teacher, I think it's a different type of energy that you have to like connect with your students.
Yeah.
And you just really had that. Like you were really gentle and explaining things. So
I love it. Like I'm very passionate about helping other women to like really embrace and tap into their divine feminine energy, just like slowing down and like really like loving on yourself and just focusing on yourself. I really love that.
It's important.
Yeah.
It's important.
And just like helping other women unlock that and just like being able to see them unlock it and just it really changes them. So I love that.
So can we pivot a little bit into now like this business that you've built of designing and creating like costumes? Would you call them costumes?
I call it spicy wear.
Okay.
That's what I call it. So 2 years ago, I taught myself how to sew. And in that, I decided to start sewing for my community. I know a lot of strippers, a lot of pole dancers. So I said, you know what? Like, I could really do something for us. So I started sewing, and when I look back now at them pieces, I'll be like, girl, I really thought I was doing something. But the growth, let me just say, and gratitude to all the people who were supporting me, even when my stitches was looking crazy, because I thought it was looking bomb, girl. But
you gotta start somewhere.
You do. And don't be afraid to just start, regardless of if it looks perfect or not, because the people who are going to support you are going to support you. And the more consistent you are with whatever you do, you're going to get better at it, So gratitude for that. But so now I make spicy wear. And I have some of the baddest chicks in the game wearing my pieces, and it's really a beautiful feeling to be a staple in my community.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love seeing your designs. Like I always I'm like, I need to buy this and I don't know where I'm gonna wear it or
to Hills class, girl.
I know. I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like it needs to be like a special occasion.
That's so funny because a lot of people say that about my pieces. Like, oh, I want to wear your piece, but like I want to wait for a performance. And when I was like teaching weekly classes in the pole studio, I would be like, this is the occasion.
Yeah.
Pole class is the occasion. Yeah. Just anything is the occasion. You don't got to wait for like something that every day is special. So
very true.
Whatever you deem to be special, it's that.
Very, very true. Yeah. More and more people nowadays are wanting to train in the comfort of their own home, and I definitely don't blame them, okay? I love working out at home. I love the accessibility of just turning on a video and getting my training in, whether that's dance training, whether that is stretching, flexibility training, strength training. Some days I just don't feel like leaving the house. So we now have online classes where you don't have to go anywhere, honey. If you want to stay home but still get that work in, that is available to you. We have two different programs. So we have Rhythm and Pumps, which is our online heels training program, and we have our newly launched Real Rhythm Monthly Unlimited. This is an all-inclusive membership that includes not just heels classes, okay, not just heels tutorials, but so much more than that. Hip hop tutorials, commercial pop, guided meditations, affirmations. You also get a monthly check-in with our vitality coach. Tell me a better deal, honey, okay? Because this is less than $30 a month. Everything is included, and you literally get to glow up and work at your own pace. So you can time out, you can schedule your videos throughout the week. Maybe you want to do heels on a Monday. Maybe you want to do hip hop on a Wednesday. Maybe you want to do a full body strength workout on a Friday. It's completely up to you. We have a full video library that you have 24/7 access to, and you can access all the videos available as a Real Rhythm Unlimited member. Don't worry, if you're just trying to get your heels training, you get a little bit more than just the heels tutorials as well. So you also get access to flexibility training, all of our stretch videos, our core workouts as well, because everybody knows you need a strong core to succeed in heels. So we got you. We want to make sure that you're all set up. You also get access to our online community group with both memberships. So you get support, you get updates when we drop new videos, and you get to chat with like-minded baddies in the community. So make sure you definitely download the app for the best experience. Just go to our link in the show notes, head on over to the Fit by Wix app, make sure you put in our code, our invite code, and we can't wait to dance with you. And so now we had talked a little bit like off camera about how you made this decision to like change the materials that you're using for your costumes.
So I came across a study done by a woman named Heidi Yellen where she tested the actual frequency of fabrics. And in this study, she found that nylon, spandex, those kind of fabrics have a frequency that are similar or equal to that of a dead person or a sick person. And that these clothes are actually like pulling away from our energy. And so clothes like linen, wool, cotton, hemp, those kind of fabrics actually like help to revive and pour into our energy. They give to us rather than taking away from us. And also these fabrics have microplastics in them, the nylon and spandex. And when I came across this information, I just felt like this guilt, even though it was new information to me, but I'm just like, wow, like this is what I'm putting out into the world. This is what people are putting on their bodies, and I'm making this. So I just immediately felt convicted, and I knew like I had to do something to change this. So right now I'm in the process of kind of like getting rid of all my nylon spandex fabrics. And in the process of that, I have incorporated lifetime repairs so that my Divine Threads clients can always come to me to get free repairs. Because, I also want to make sure that these pieces aren't ending up like in landfills. I want to make sure I can give them a longer life. And I'm going to be switching to more organic fabrics, and the brand is going to be called Coochie Conscious.
Ooh, yes. Come on.
Yes.
I love that.
Gratitude.
We love someone who actually cares about what they're putting out like to their clients and their customers. Like, because I think we hear of so many businesses that, let's say mostly corporate, right? Like corporations, like just putting out whatever and their ingredients and not really caring about how these products are made or these clothes are made. Like there's kids making these clothes and stuff like that. So I think it's really important that you as a business owner, right? Like you are conscious, coochie, like, yeah.
And if you're a woman, you want to be conscious of what's going on your coochie.
Absolutely.
So definitely clothes, everything.
I love that.
Yes.
You're doing such great work, Lala. Like, I'm so proud of you. And
gratitude.
I love seeing just your growth over the years. And I want to talk quickly about just like some of the pivots that you've experience and take it, you know, and like I'm sure you can relate to me as like an entrepreneur of sometimes just being in the space of feeling like something's not working and maybe feeling like, okay, it's time to move into a new direction.
Yeah.
Like, when does that come up?
I feel like my life has been one big pivot. Like, you know, I have just on this journey, there has been many times where I have felt like, you know what, this isn't it, and have had to kind of like shift directions from, like I said, I was previously married and I stayed in that situation, just also holding on to like shame, like what are people going to think? What are people going to say? But then I also realized like if I stay here, I'm not honoring myself, and I'm also not teaching my daughter what kind of person that, you know, she should aspire to be with when she is, you know, of age. So just that, also like my natural soaps. I was making natural soaps and then I stopped and then I started again. So it's kind of just like as life changes, you know, you kind of just decide what also needs to change in that season. And I feel like also a part of that is oftentimes we have this like vision in our mind of like what something should be like, or what we think it's going to be like, or what we think it's supposed to be like. And it doesn't always happen that way. So just instead of holding on to like this idea that we're so attached to in our head, like, okay, this is going to happen just like this, you know, sometimes we have to let it go, no matter how like painful it may be, or kind of just like it may even shatter your whole reality, you know? One thing I will share that has been like a really major pivot for me within this past year is actually October marks the 1 year anniversary that I decided to sign my rights as a parent to my daughter's father. Wow. I love my daughter so much and I miss her all the time. And I will say that it was the best decision for the both of us because my daughter was unfortunately in a position where she constantly was made to feel like she had to choose between which parent she loved or whether she loved her mom or not. And so I also just want to bring awareness to this. This is something called parental alienation that a lot of people may not be familiar with, or if they are familiar with it, they usually hear of like a bitter baby mama, you know, who like keeps her kids away from the dad kind of thing. Yeah. But it isn't always just like women who are putting their children in these kind of situations. So just bringing an awareness to that, I will say that over time, I felt like.
Okay, hold up. Before we get too real into this conversation, I wanted to let you know that registration is now open for both of our retreats coming up in 2025. We are going back to Arizona. Yup, back to where it started, baby. We're heading to Sedona in Scottsdale for 4 nights, 5 days to heal, to meditate, to ground ourselves, to have a deeper connection with ourselves. This is going to be a completely transformative experience. Join us for the Phoenix Rising Retreat from March 13th to the 17th, 2025. This is going to be amazing. If you've been asking about our first domestic retreat of 2025, well, this is it. We literally just opened registration. So reserve your spot. It's going to be freaking amazing. You can find all of our details on our website. And don't forget the Goddess Retreat in Greece. We're heading to Mykonos and the beautiful hidden gem Andros for 7 days, 6 nights from May 7 to the 13th. This is going to be an amazing experience if you're looking to connect with your feminine energy, if you're looking to soften, if you're looking to heal, if you're looking to really have a deeper connection with women and community and nature, and to soak in all that Greek goddess energy. So if you're interested and you're looking to take some time for yourself and start 2025 by putting yourself first and prioritizing your mental health, your self-care, your spirituality, your connection with yourself, then I invite you to register for our retreat. The only thing that's required to book is a deposit, and then you can make monthly payment arrangements up until January and February for the retreat. So any questions, feel free to hit us up at Real Hot Retreats on Instagram. Take a look at our previous retreats, see if you're feeling out the vibes.
Those emotions were something I kind of had to like process before the situation even happened. So although this is one of the hardest decisions I have ever made in my life, unfortunately I had to process these feelings in advance just due to some of the things that were kind of taking place with my daughter and that I was like experiencing with her. So yes, just pivoting. It just, I never saw motherhood looking like that for me.
Yeah.
I just always saw I'm gonna give birth to a child and me and her father are gonna be together and she's gonna grow up in a 2-parent home. That's just what I saw at the time, and that's what I thought life would be like. But again, things don't always happen the way that we, see them happening. So
we're on God's time.
Yeah.
Like, we are not on our timeline.
Not at all.
We have, the control over our lives and everything is going to happen this and this, and this is this chapter. And I'm going to have this by this age.
And if we don't release these, just like wanting to, the need to control things, or just, again, the way that we picture things in our head, if we don't release that and just kind of you got to be in a constant state of just flow, what comes and what goes, kind of goes. Because if I spend the rest, or if anyone spends the rest of their life just attaching themselves to these ideals and what they think is supposed to be and the way that they think it's supposed to be, you'll be bitter, you'll be drained, you'll be tired, you'll be depressed, because we can't worry about things that we can change. There's a limited amount of things that are in our control, and the things that are not in our control, we can't.
Yeah. I love that, Lala. Thank you for sharing that. I know that's I can't even imagine what that decision, was like for you. And even just having the courage and the strength to speak about it makes you just such an amazing person.
Gratitude.
I'm sure there's somebody out here, who might be in a similar situation.
And I will say when I decided to open up and talk about this, there were a lot of women who thanked me for speaking about it, because they are in the same situation, or have been in the same situation, or have been looking for counsel on this kind of situation. And, women are demonized for this kind of thing. You're looked at like the villain, people say the most vile things about you because you're the mom. And when you're the mom, you're supposed to take abuse. You're supposed to take everything and put up with every single thing. It doesn't matter what it is, because you're the mom. And I just think that's not fair,
It's not. Women, it's crazy, because it's women literally do the majority of literally carrying this child into this world,
raising them,
sacrificing your own health, your own body, your body going through changes, emotional changes, mental changes. And it's for a man not to understand that and empathize with that and to try to make your life easier, that shit makes me so mad.
Yeah.
It makes me so upset. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so strong on my opinion of fuck the 50-50. I'm just where is the 50-50? If I'm doing all of this physical work, we're not even talking about the outside work, of raising the child, but just the physical part of it. I have to carry this child for 9 months, and then I have to continue to breastfeed after that, and do all these things where it's but you want me to.
Let me tell you, I used to go to work full time, and I was in school, and I would pick my daughter up from school, and then I would go home. I would, feed her, cook for her, do her homework with her, get her ready for bed, and then I still got to study. And then I still got to go to sleep and wake up and get up early and take her to school, and then splitting 50-50 on the bills. That really takes you out of your femininity. It really takes you out of your femininity. And yeah, girl, that's a whole can of worms right there. But
girl, I definitely have to finish this conversation. I definitely want to have you back, and I want to dive deeper into the topic of feminine energy, because I think you are someone who is able to really embody what it's now at this point in your life of being in your feminine and being soft and having a good support system as far as a man.
Yes, and gratitude for my husband, because he wants me to be in my feminine energy. He wants to do everything in his power to make sure that I don't have a hard life, or I don't even have to so much as take out the garbage or open the door, so he really wants to he wants me to be in my feminine energy, and I love that about him so much.
Oh, we need more men like that. Where they at?
I know, girl.
Where they Lala, thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
show.
you.
This was amazing.
Thank you.
We will definitely be continuing this conversation in a part 2. You guys know I like to keep them short, keep you guys on your toes. wanting more. So
Gratitude.
Lala, please tell the people where they can find you on social media.
Y'all can find me at Roldan Fam with 2 underscores, or you can find me at divine.threads _ for the spicy wear. Roldan Fam, we have the herbals for the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and for the whole family. So gratitude.
Yes. Please check them out. They're out here doing amazing work. They're trying to get everybody healthy and just, back in homeostasis. Like, I think a lot of us are just out here like stressed, like everybody's just walking around stressed and worry about the wrong things, and it's like the thing that we should really be worried about is our health. Like,
Definitely.
that's the top priority. So definitely go check out Lala and her husband's brand. Go follow them on social media. And if you guys are listening on Spotify or Apple, please take the time today to leave a rating and review. I would appreciate that so, so much. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, drop a comment. Let us know what stood out to you in this conversation today, what resonated with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in another episode.
Gratitude.
I know that was hard, girl. I was about to cry. I was trying to
stop myself too. I'm like, ooh.